Moving for the R and the L.
You're hearing nothing through the headphones, right?
Mm-mm. Not yet.
Well, you're really not going to. All right, I'm unmuting.
There we go.
Well, hello there. Welcome to A Common Thread. I am Sonia V.
I'm Iguaran. The wins, the losses, and the curveballs in life.
Yeah, no, we're not going to throw curveballs tonight. We've had curveballs tonight, so we're just going to do that. So, well, welcome to our show this evening. We're so thankful that you're here with us. And it is Monday, 6 p.m. You could be doing a lot of other things, but you're here listening to us, so we're grateful for that. If you've been with us the last few weeks, we have been doing a series on bridging the generation gap. And so we started off with the silent generation, which was Eva's mom. Then we did the baby boomers, which was our friend Lillian. And then last week and the week before was Tay and Buster,
Swoops.
Well, he was there last week, and then the week before was just Tay and ourselves, and we had a lot of fun because our generation always has a lot of fun. And so this week, because we don't care. Anyway, today we have Mr. Keith Jenkins Jr. and Ian Valdez with us, and they are millennials, so we decided we wanted to have them come and kind of ask them some questions and have them share a little bit about some of the things that we see about millennials. Are they true? Are they not? And yeah, so thanks guys for coming.
Of course.
So you, Ian, you told me you were born 1996,
96, yeah.
and Keith, you were born in 90. Okay, golly.
So you're kind of like right. Keith is right in the middle, and
I'm right at the end.
you're right at the end. Barely made it. So you could decide if you wanted to stick with this crowd. But thank you for sticking around.
I feel more
being here
nowadays, so.
Do you really?
I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just pretend I'm not here.
Pretend you're not here. She's not here, so we're just gonna keep flowing, keep going. So, just to read a little bit about millennials, it says millennials are born 1981 to 1996, are the generation following Gen X, known as the first digital natives who came of age during the internet explosion and the Great Recession. As of 2026, they are aged 30 to 45, deeply tech savvy, highly educated, and have often delayed traditional milestones like marriage and home ownership due to economic disruption. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that well
Depends on the
I got
highly
married,
educated.
but yeah, no house.
You said
I
what?
did get married, but yeah, no house.
No house. Okay. And what about you, Ian?
Depends on the highly educated part, In some things, I'd say.
Okay.
Tech savvy for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that millennials are pretty tech savvy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, my son is Gen Z, so I go to him for everything, but maybe we'll invite him, but he won't come.
Is it? I mean, this is the bad question. Is it highly educated from TikTok, or is that a different generation?
No, we're highly educated from the internet because we had the internet from the time we were in fifth grade or so. I guess fifth grade was Google. Oh man! Yeah.
So you were educated by Google.
Yeah,
So
Google
tell me,
and YouTube.
go back to those times, like early childhood with the tech, because to me that's like super intriguing. Because you're the first generation that grew up with basically a phone in your hand,
Yeah.
and
2001, right?
Not really.
No,
I would
that
say
was more him and
internet and mobile technology.
probably more internet. Yeah.
internet, but not mobile. That would
Highly
be like
tech.
a little bit you guys going.
Past that.
Okay, well this is scratch that.
That would be
This is
more
wrong.
like Gen Z more.
Sorry, I'm just reading off the.
But definitely the internet.
Yeah,
and
the internet is what
tech-savvy.
changed our lives because we were again outside doing everything, and still we're pretty much outside. our
Didn't
whole
the
life.
internet come out in like 2001, right? Something like that.
No,
Mm-mm.
no.
Before that?
Yeah, internet was already a thing, but it was what shifted. I think was the age of Google, Yahoo search, Bing,
Okay.
all that stuff. Because then it was just like instantly you had everything. Before you had to like know your friend's website or know that company. But then once those things came, you could just type in food, and everything having to do with food ever would just pop up, and I was like, oh man.
So what's your earliest memories?
Like 4th grade, I remember having my computer class focused on the internet for like a whole year. We had to learn it. You remember Clippy? The little, the first AI icon thing. It was like a paperclip with the eyes and everything. We had to learn how to use him, and for a whole year they had a class specifically based on how to search things on Google and learn the internet, the ins and outs, and how to research and all that. So that's 4th grade, I think, 3rd or 4th.
And you,
First
Keith?
memory, I think we got a computer for my mom's business or something like that, and we had the AOL dial-up thing. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah. And I would play, there's this line game where you draw and the guy drives a bike and he would follow the line, and that's all I would ever do because it was like the coolest thing. So yeah, that was probably 3rd or 4th grade. So wait, I was 6 years older than you, right? So that
would have been like 93, 94, something like that.
No, not that young.
No. I was in 4th grade.
Oh, wait, super young.
In 99. So like 98. Windows 98, I think, is Windows 96 or 98 is the very first thing I remember. Oh, wow. That's something over here. Or the door.
It's the door.
It's the door.
I think it's the door, not the lock.
The lock is beeping.
Interesting. So,
well, yeah, because I do remember, like, it was like 93, 94 maybe, and I remember AOL. I remember like those chat rooms that you could go into. They had those, so we did have that in the early 90s. But I was already like 20 maybe at that time.
Well, 98, I was graduating.
Well, not 98. Yeah. But I'm talking about like early 90s.
Okay.
I was graduating from high school like in 91. And then, so anyway, that was like all around that time. I remember that stuff coming out, like having the AOL, like your
disc
email with the AOL at the end.
Yeah.
When I see people with AOL now, I'm like, y'all still have an AOL account? Like,
Yeah.
I think they closed down or something. Wasn't that?
I think people think MSN is funny. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. I have an
MSN.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Oh, my goodness. That's so funny.
I think I was a little late to that. I remember AOL for sure. I remember kids in school. Do you have an AOL? What's your AOL? What's your
AIM?
So your mom got a computer.
That's the one. Never mind. AIM.
Yeah.
So your mom had a computer for her work. Did y'all both have computers and phones at your home? Like cell phones in your home from an early age? Computers in your home?
We had a computer, and then I bought a laptop from like 2 summers worth of money, just specifically for FL, or it was called Free Loops 3, because DJ Darude, the Sandstorm guy. Do you remember that song? If you heard it, you remember. But anyway, so him and a couple other DJs made this program, and it just like changed the music production because you could just do it right there at your fingers instead of having to go to the studio. And so I saved up money and got a laptop, and I think I was 8.5.
Yeah.
And like now I feel old. I see kids today with iPads and smartphones like at the age of 3 and 4, and I'm like, you know, if I know my kid is
grandma's like, I can't figure this out, and the kid comes over and they're just
and they know what to do.
like even today, I never turn on my own TV. Even my own TV, I don't even turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't watch TV. I don't even. So when anybody wants to watch anything, I'm like, here's this thing. Turn it on for me. What are we watching? Because anyway.
Yeah, my mom's the same way. You know, I tell her what button to press, and she forgets every time. But, you know, she's like with the glasses, like, what button did you press again? But,
teach me again for the 1,000th time.
Literally, but it's all right. I was on there.
But this is just intuitive for you guys.
Yeah,
everything techie.
No, yeah. Well, and so even back then, like you were saying with phones, so we weren't allowed to have video games, but I found a phone at the park one time, and the cool thing about back then was, you could just call the phone company and get a new SIM card or a calling card because you needed to pay for minutes. So then it was like I had all of a sudden in 8th grade, Keith had a phone.
Paying for minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Unlocking some
and then
memories.
I think halfway through 8th grade, all the rappers came out with Boost Mobile, and you could like chirp each other, but it was still Nextel, but you could still like walkie-talkie each other in the hallways. It was so cool.
Mm.
And
that's
then,
crazy.
Everybody would have a cool voicemail at that time too. Remember, they would just record a song from the TV. It's like, hey, you reached blah blah blah, and then they'll play the song off the TV.
So you must be. You just showed how much younger you are. Like the gap between me and him, because he said his first phone was the iPhone 3GS
with no service.
With no. It's funny because even when I was in college, those weren't out yet. I think they were just coming out, like my freshman or sophomore year of college.
Yeah, that was like 2011, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
You know, I still had like the buttons.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, what about music? We kind of, we talked about our music, a lot of the 80s and also 90s, right? We grew up at that time, like early 90s. So for y'all, like, what was music like for you at that time?
I remember 5th grade. 3rd grade, like between like until 5th grade, up until then, I only knew Christian music. You know, my mom would always just play our radio station up north is Star 99.1. It's the one main Christian radio station. There's another one, I forget what it is, but that's like the most well-known one. So I only knew Christian music up until 5th grade, and when we had access to more computer time, I found like Eminem and Lil Wayne, and those were like the first, artists that I saw that led me more and deeper into that side of music. And like punk bands too, like Green Day and what's another one? My Chemical Romance. There was a bunch of bands because this girl that used to babysit me when I was younger, she used to listen to all these bands. So that's how I found out about that type of music. Besides listening to the Christian radio that my mom would play, or there was this other radio station that would play old school hymns. What was it called? Family Radio. I forgot what the name of the station, but my mom used to love it. It would just play all these old school hymns from like the 50s and the 40s of just people singing. It wasn't really any music in the background. It would just be like choirs of people singing and just old gospel music, church music. That's what I kind of grew up with until like 5th, 6th grade. And
you were introduced to trash. No.
Yeah, basically. Actually.
When were you introduced to trash?
I didn't like the hip hop at first. I became a metalhead later on. I found out like heavy metal bands, and I was just kind of like.
Well, you said Green Day, and I was like, oh yeah, Green Day.
It got harder.
Like, even I liked that.
Yeah, it got much more harder than that afterwards. The bands I would listen to it, then it went
Nine
to
Inch Nails.
Even harder, like screamo and just head banging and all that crazy stuff. Yeah,
9 Inch Nails was before Green Day, though,
literally.
I think so.
Yeah. Hey kids, you like Violet? Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
No, for me it was the same. But we had gospel, like black gospel, and then of course like the Gaithers and stuff. So being in St. Louis, being right next door to those guys, just seeing them performing and stuff, and then Michael Jackson. That was probably all the way until I want to say 2nd grade.
So did they allow? Did you have to sneak listening to Michael Jackson? Or
No, that was
listening material.
That was listening material because my dad played the drums. Like my dad was touring around as a gospel drummer for this gospel singer named Lamar Campbell, and so he was like it was fine. He would play it, and that's how I learned how to play drums. but it couldn't go anything further than that. And then I want to say it was second grade when one of my friends was like, hey, there's a dude from up the way named Nelly who just put out this music. And I'm like, Nelly, what? And then he shows me this guy that sounds like me, but he's like got this accent. I don't know, it was the country grammar tape, but it was like on a tape. And I'm listening to it in my little Walkman and with my little wire headphones. And I was like, this is so weird. Like he's cussing, he's talking about stuff with girls. Like it was just this huge, like eye-opening moment. Like, what is this?
I just got educated.
Like what?
Dang.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, those days is when the message of music started to get a little twisted, you know, like anything started to fly. And now,
well, I don't know about that. It was pretty.
No,
it was pretty heavy during our time.
Yeah, no, they had the music where you.
Well, I mean, Salt and
Pepper
was like push it.
Yeah.
You know?
But just like the cussing too, music.
Oh no, dude, the rapping,
yeah.
Pre us rap was already bad. That's why the FCC was so on to Eminem, because they were already like NWA was just doing way too much.
Oh yes, NWA.
Yeah, the message they pushed was like very vulgar. You know? Even nowadays, it's even worse.
I'm trying to remember when I saw the first sticker of the advisory.
Parental advisory. Yeah. Probably would have been in the 80s, because African Bambaataa, which he just died, rest in peace. Well, not really, because people don't really like that guy because some weird stuff. But yeah, that whole crew, they were saying some pretty interesting things in the early 80s. It's like, oh my goodness. My parents were like, you better not ever bring that into our house. So it was like,
yeah, we didn't want that spirit. We don't want that spirit. Yeah. Like, you know, keep it in your car. Don't even try to bring it inside the house, please.
Did y'all ever have to record tapes of the radio?
Oh yeah.
We were on the recording tapes time. Yes, we
absolutely.
We were talking about making the mixtapes, because that's how we showed our love to our friends. Is we would make mixtapes and then like put all the and if you were extra special, you would hand write out the lyrics to your favorite song and wrap the tape in that and like deliver it to your friend, and that's how you showed how much you loved them. Ours was a little bit different.
We still had to record the tape, but we had printers.
Oh, there we go.
So we just go to Google, get the lyrics, and then deliver. Like we had to literally record the tape. And what me and my sister would do is take the tape of the gospel music and record over it. So when you look in the Walkman,
that's happened before, I'm sure.
And you look and it says Kirk Franklin or Chris Tomlin. And it's like, oh, okay, no big deal. But then you listen and it's just like, shake it, throw it, sell this, and do that. I'm like, what? You get in trouble. Like, oh man,
that was rebellious.
Yeah, definitely.
That was very rebellious.
Days.
Oh, that is so funny
and sacrilegious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like taping over Kirk Franklin. No way.
Yeah, I would never ever do that.
And my mom found out about the music I was listening to after like 5th and 6th grade, and she was really on me for it. So I had to start finding like Christian artists that sound like them, and surprisingly there's a lot, you know, because I heard
like Plum. Who could that be compared to?
Plum. That's such a crazy throwback.
Sorry.
It brought me back to a certain time. I remember Plum, but I had to switch over to a bunch of Christian artists, and she still didn't like it because of the sound. But I'm like, Mom, look at the lyrics. And then she was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Like, this is good stuff.
All the heavy metal.
Jesus!
Basically.
Because there was even screaming Christian Christian groups. All right, I guess they still
Demon
exist.
Hunter and all this stuff,
I heard this term, though, like what the devil intended for evil, God intended for good.
Exactly.
So it's like, and I realize like certain genres like that, people are not used to hearing like worship music, straight worship music. So when you show someone that style and it's a message about Jesus, it draws them closer. I feel like it speaks to them more. There's like certain subgenres that people need to listen to that they like in order, you know what I mean? There's just I feel like just one type of music won't reach everybody. There's people in like really dark places, So
and that's do y'all think your parents were right in the sense like trying to keep you from certain music, and do you feel like that music influenced you to go a certain direction?
Yes.
And did it have some kind of power?
Yes, 100%. That's basically like my whole testimony. I was in the world, and listening to all the worldly stuff made me do things I shouldn't have done, like drugs and just be places I shouldn't have been. And I'm not going to go deep into it, but I finally realized how far listening to that type of music turns you into what you're listening to. It influences you so much, enough to take this substance or get this tattoo or whatever it may be, sleep with this person, go and just live however you want, and just because of the lyrics that you're just always drilling into your head just constantly, so that's why, I feel like taking that and putting a Christian message on top of it, because I try to show some of my old friends Christian rap or Christian metal and they don't feel it. It sounds the same as secular, but they just don't feel it because the message is so powerful. They're still like, oh, I want to hear about the drug still. I want to hear about, all this negative stuff that I'm used to, once it starts mentioning things about God and Jesus, like the beat could be the same, the flow, whatever it may be, but they'll feel the message like hit them harder. And that's why I think it's just, I think it's important to be able to reach people that way, because it did a number on me for years. I didn't know how deep I was going into that lifestyle until I realized it, until I had that moment with the Holy Spirit. And it was just, it was a big thing, but yeah.
And we're going to have you on for another episode just to hear your whole testimony.
Yeah, another time. Yeah.
It's very, very powerful. It sounds like.
Yeah. And music is very, because, the devil was in charge of music in heaven, so once he got kicked out, he came down here, everybody knows that, and he's just trying to do whatever he can. That's why hip hop is so big, and then when it comes to like the selling the soul aspect, hip hop is what pushes that right now. You listen to a lot of lyrics or whether they're mumbling it or not, it's always just this pushing this negativity and just talking about the devil and demons so comfortable, like such a natural thing. Like it's okay. It's your human nature. And that's just, it's just very toxic to the human.
Well, and everybody probably can go back in a moment. I mean, I can. I'm in my car, windows down, blasting music. And I feel like it was a song. Oh, I'm just a girl. Oh, little old me. Is that Pink or is that?
I forget who's. I think that might be.
It sounds like Pink, yeah.
Anyway, and I just feel like I was so empowered, like turning the volume up and feeling like, oh, like I'm driving my car. I got my car. I'm a girl. Anyway, but it just puts you in a spirit of kind of almost rebellion. Like, look how powerful I am. Look how strong I am. I got my stuff together. I'm independent. Whatever that message is trying to push. And you're kind of like a different spirit, I would say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the car.
Yeah.
What's his name? Michael Jackson said, he's like, music is the most powerful on earth because it's basically your mantra. You're singing the lyrics, but then that chorus comes in and you're just really like a chorus could hit you and you just start crying.
Yeah.
You just feel joy, you feel power, you feel angry, you feel
depression.
Like fight music, right? They're about to walk out to go box or do whatever. They have to play that song that gets them in, like you said, that spirit, whatever that spirit is, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just hip hop though. I think there's
I'm saying any
kind of music.
Oh yeah. Like 9 Inch Nails was, I remember I used to listen to a song.
AC/DC, Metallica.
Iron Maiden was dark. I remember.
Yeah, very dark.
My friends would show me songs. I never really liked that band. I gravitated more towards like AC/DC a little bit in the early days. And their lyrics are dark, man. What they have music about. And you wouldn't even notice it. Out of all the nice guitars and the drumming and the way they sing, you'll get past the message quick. You won't listen to what they're saying. So it's just that's that.
Well, I feel like they had a suicidal song because it felt very, very like inviting. Like you'll make this all go away was the lyrics. Like basically, I'm getting so close.
Yeah, the music industry is evil. What they try to push on people, it
definitely was
real.
A message, and definitely I think young people can be pulled into something that they weren't necessarily asking to sign up for, but here you are.
Yeah. Now they're not trying to hide it anymore. Earlier, when in the earlier years, it was like subtly. Yeah, it was subtle, but now they're not trying to hide it no more. In any type of music, not just hip hop. Hip hop's right there in your face, but any other music, it's the same thing. They're just pushing this narrative. And even when it comes to like more innocent artists like Taylor Swift or, my sister's a fangirl. She loves to go to concerts. She travels all over the world to follow these people. And their message is just so like innocent and clear. But the way that these people are
worshiping,
it's almost
idolizing.
Like, it's really like idolizing, and it's kind of scary to see like how they're in a trance. That in that moment, if Jesus popped up right there, they'll probably still be like into these people. That's just how I see it. And I don't know. It's just the lights and the glamour, and just it's almost like a psychedelic show. Like it puts you in a brainwash, like a trance.
The lights too, I think, are a big part of that.
Yeah.
Probably the bass line too.
And shows have
Get
always
you.
been Michael Jackson shows were like that too. People would pass out at his concerts, right?
Yeah.
People would get hauled off to the hospital because they couldn't breathe no more, just of him
Yeah,
just doing a move.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And he was awesome for what he did, but
Yeah.
you know, that was like the same situation. You know, it was he was a little idolized. You know, but
So tell us about some fashion. You want to jump into fashion?
yeah. Let's jump into
Jinko.
fashion, huh?
Jinko,
Oh yes.
Jinko.
Oh,
Jinko.
Jinko.
My
South
husband
Pole.
had he was my boyfriend
South
at the time.
Pole, Fubu,
Yes.
Fat Farm, Baby Fat,
Baby fat. Yep.
Fila's,
Baby fat. Yeah.
Baby Fat, yeah. And then when they broke up, the whole world was like, "What in the world? Are we still gonna wear it?" Yeah, I remember it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Echo.
Echo and Nietzsche or NYC, depending.
Or
MF plus G,
Zoo York.
Zoo York, the skate shoes.
Yeah, I was into a lot of the skate brands. The earlier ones, it was like Etnies, Osiris.
What's that one?
Supras.
Oh yeah, Supers, but that store in the mall.
Hot Topic.
Hot Topic, going there and shopping and
That was the one place.
buying
I was
Slipknot and people just buying all
band
types of.
T-shirts. Yeah, those are.
It's like it's inappropriate stuff, and people just wear them, and it had loud writing on it, and you're like, why would you wear that out in public? And it, yeah.
The style went from like really skinny, tight-fitting clothes to baggy. At first, it was baggy. You know, there was like baggy clothes back then. Then everybody was just wearing tight-fit clothes and just ripped jeans, and that's for at least from where I was from. And then nowadays, everybody's wearing baggy clothes again. That's what I realized. But for one time, like skinny jeans and joggers were like huge for so long. You know, that was more recent, I'd say. But yeah, my style was just very.
Some of us are mourning the
I'm mourning what?
that it's leaving.
Oh, that
That
it's
it's
leaving.
fading out. That it's yeah.
What
Yeah.
the skinny stuff?
Yeah.
People used to hate it though. My grandparents used to
I
hate my
hated
skinny
that.
jeans. Yeah, I used to wear like
I never liked it on guys particularly, but
I would sag them though. Like I was just weird.
Well, you see, so where I'm from, we would literally beat you up if we saw you dressed like that.
Yeah,
Like, me and him were talking about stuff, and then he was like, "Man, I used to dress like this." I'm like, "Dude, you would have got torn up in my school, bro." Like,
yeah.
we just there's
In
no
St.
way.
Louis?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't buy into the skinny jean.
No, we didn't
Yeah.
do none of that stuff. That was on the other side of
Yeah,
the fence, and so we're like, "Hey, if you're over there, you're over there, but you're not hanging with us," But
Yeah.
no, we didn't do that. It was tall tees and Nikes and all that.
yeah. My school was very goth. A lot of gothic stuff. A
Mm.
lot of just skinny jeans, and people would just put eyeliner on their face or wear white eye contact and paint one nail black and just be like,
No,
that's very Tumblr, like very Tumblr.
yeah,
the Tumblr
that
days.
was-
All the swoops, the hair swoops.
They would-
I would say 98. I had all my nails black. Not
Yeah.
one. It was all of them.
No, like I'm specifically talking about the dudes. Like they would paint their nails and stuff. I
The-
never got to that.
The one thing the dude had in my school was the one long pinky nail.
Yeah.
Well, that's been popular through the ages, hasn't it? Isn't that
Mhm.
anybody
Everybody's
who's into coke?
But the thing is, though, most people weren't. It's just that was the thing. That
was the sign.
Rings, yeah.
It was like a style.
The bandanas too.
Oh no,
colored
it's just for
bandana.
picking the guitar.
None of us
Right?
have guitars, so,
I guess that's the thumb too. Some people grab the thumbnail.
we were just and spree wheel belts. So there's a song called Laffy Taffy that had just came out by this group called D4L, which was who cares, right? Down for Life, I think. But anyway, they had these spree wheel belts where the cars would stop and the rims would keep going. And then that became a watch, and then it became a chain, and then eventually it was a belt.
What?
As well as we had belts with our names on it that were
I remember those.
the belts would come across.
I always wanted one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the studded belts. We had the studded belts with all the. You ever seen those with the studs on it? They're like spikes.
Yeah.
Like spike belts.
Oh yeah, we did that too.
Everybody had those. Yeah, everybody had those. Yeah, that was. I remember having like 4 pairs of them. Not 4 pairs. They're not pairs, but 4 of those belts just in my closet. I would rotate through them, and
It's crazy because I don't think I would know how to like dress 90s or dress a certain way anymore.
definitely. I feel like a lot of those styles need to be brought back. They're starting to do it, like the bell-bottom jeans and everything, and just kind of like the bagginess of certain clothes. It looks like it would be from the early 2000s or late 90s, but I feel like a lot of that style.
Well, I just saw it
for sure.
Justin Bieber. I had to pull it up because they said that he showed up like I guess, talking to a crowd and sharing Jesus or something. And
Recently,
I was like, okay,
right?
I was like, let me pull it
Coachella.
up. I think it was at a fashion show or something.
Coachella. I think
Coachella,
it was
yeah.
performance, yeah.
So then I was like checking out his outfit. It was like crop top, baggy. Well, it wasn't really cropped on him, but it was kind of like really baggy and kind of square, and then really baggy pants, even like a over the knee, kind of like, I don't know. And then some huge Doc Martens, I think, combat boot type thing. And I was like, this is funny. I'm going to put this on my husband. I'm just going to do it just for the fun of it and go out with him and see what people say.
It's like an urban style. They call it urban. It's like urban, you know.
Yeah, I don't really truly get it, but it's
It's
fun.
The crop tees is a new thing. I remember my friend started doing it. I'm like, I'm not cutting my t-shirts to do that. You know, my friend from New Jersey was like, bro, crop tees are in now, man. You got to put it, you cut the line and just make sure you just see your belt line. I'm like, I'm not going to lift my hands and my belly starts hanging out. That's just weird, you know? I just, you know, people's bellies would be hanging out. And like, I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, that's just so weird, you know?
Not good, guys.
I mean, crop it to a certain point, but not if you lift your hands up and it's going over your belly button, that's just too much. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I would agree, especially for a guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
weird.
little bit too much.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but not much. We mentioned that the millennials are the most educated generation. It says here roughly 40%. Well, when I read this, I said roughly 40% have attended have a university degree. I thought, well, what about the rest of the generations? If they're at 40 and then they're highest, that means what? Then probably we didn't go to college as much. Maybe
I'm the other 60% for sure, but.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I finished high school, of course, but college was just 1 year here, didn't like it, tried another year there, and I just left and I just started working. I needed money. I'm like, I'm not going to sit in college for 4 years and not make $1. You know, I didn't know what I want to study. I'm really good at music. Like, I love making music, recording it, putting it out, and whatever, and I could play drums and keyboard and whatever. But going to school for it, I was just like, to me at the time, for most people it's not, but for me personally, it was a waste of time. In my eyes, you know, then I started saving a little money and, you know, I ended up buying a car and doing certain things. I'm like, okay, life is moving faster. But
well, again, we're talking to somebody who's right at the end.
Yeah.
So exactly, that would fit the lifestyle probably more. Yeah, I would say. Even though I'm not an expert, I'm just saying, hearing you speak to that, it sounds kind of like.
Well, I mean, here it does say after that, though, it says they value meaningful work, collaboration, and work-life balance. So, I mean.
That's definitely you. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. They value meaningful work.
Most of my classmates that wanted to be nurses, teachers, engineers like that, they have a degree. I never really saw myself or had the interest to like study one of those things. I know I probably could have done it, but I just always loved music so much. I was trying to find an avenue with that.
What did your parents say?
My mom's very supportive. My dad is super supportive of my music. You know, he's kind of just doing his own thing right now in life. You know, he's all over the place. I love him though. You know, he's my dad. But he's always been very supportive towards my music. But it was more when I was kind of in the world making music. Now he knows I make Christian music specifically, but he doesn't really talk about it as much as he used to when I was in the world. It's most people, you know, that used to listen to me, that kind of stopped listening to me because I switched my message. And I'm okay with that. That's perfect, you know. But my mom is she grown to understand it more when I started doing it for Jesus more. You know, she was always very skeptical around the people, towards the people I used to be around when I was making the music. She would always just call my phone. She would even try to call them, like, where's my son? Like, what are you guys doing? She was very nervous when I was making music that way. So she didn't support it at all. She was like, get a normal job. But now she understands. Now she's like, keep doing it. Don't stop, you know. But
how old are your parents?
My mom is 50. She's going to be 55 or 56. She's going to be 56 in December. My dad just turned 60.
Okay. So they're like.
So my dad was born 66 and my mom was born 1970.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured, well, if you're
Keith,
30,
what
if you're
about
30.
My parents.
Well, about the education bit.
And work and.
Education, I'll say that my generation, or at least in the people that have been around, half of them were gung-ho about going to school and getting that piece of paper that said I did it. The other half, myself included, well, actually maybe third. There's a third that did that, a third that tried, and just like myself, figured out that we could make probably more money and be in less debt than those guys. And that's what's happened. I mean, it's a blessing. It is also a tougher route, but I think in the long run, for the people in this middle lane who try to do school and then figure out something different, or just from high school on just decided that we're going to make our own business or whatever, they end up being more happy, more joyful, and it's real. It's not like a facade like you see on Facebook. And then there's the other group that just didn't do anything at all and dead in jail, ton of kids, just who knows what's going on in their life.
Dead or in debt?
Dead.
Oh.
Yeah. Like a bunch of my homies growing up aren't here anymore. And it's just like they never left the, whatever it was. I still have friends that I worked in the club scene with, and they're in their late 40s. No disrespect to y'all. But late 40s, about to turn 50, whatever it is, and they're still in the clubs. They're still in the bars. They're still bar back. It's like you should be manager by now or start your own thing. So I think there's just, especially the video game thing, there's a lot of us that didn't grow up with video games, right? And so for those of us that didn't, it's like playing them now is kind of like it's something fun, but it's not something we have to do. So we feel the need to get up and go. Like we were just talking about that, like that laziness gene isn't there, but there's a lot of people where it's just like, oh, I'm just not doing anything today. So I think our generation is like a mixture of both of those, the really work hard guys and the don't really do much.
Well, actually, it's funny that you're saying that because it's the next section here talks about myths versus reality. So there's and I'm gonna say I'm one of the people that thought this. It says that not lazy. Despite stereotypes, millennials are influential in the workplace and are 9% more likely to be decision makers at work. So I'm going to be honest. I thought that millennials were lazy.
No, I agree because I don't like hiring millennials at all. I'm so serious. I like literally rarely. If it's friends, cool. But when it comes to hiring people, I always either hire people extremely older or the ones that are right at that like 17 to 19 that are really hungry because they're lazy. They don't do. I think we talked about this before, or maybe you weren't here. You're in Iceland being cool. But we were talking about this before. But like they just something is like I want everything for nothing. That they bring that to relationships.
Maybe entitlement.
Entitlement. That's the word.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So you're saying because this one is saying not lazy, but you're saying that the
Oh no, they are absolutely.
You're saying the opposite,
so.
and do you agree, Ian?
The first 2 years I came to Texas, I had that problem. I was very lazy. I didn't want to do anything because of just the area I was in. I had no motivation. I'm like, I don't want to do nothing around here. I just want to go back to where I'm from, this and that. So I chose to just sit around and do nothing for like 2 years.
Okay.
And it was the worst decision. One of the worst decisions I ever made. And, when I started working, I took my job seriously. I would jump from job to job because I just was trying to find a way up more and just make more money. I didn't have the college degree, so it was harder to make the money, but I was just working. I saved little money here, little money there. And then once I kind of fell into certain things, it was like up and down a lot. But yeah, no, the first 2 years I look back at myself and I wish I could just give myself a little slap in the face to just move faster because I was very, very lazy, but I chose to be that way. I was like, it's better off that I just don't do anything and just have something handed out to me.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
If there's no motivation, like if there's like, sometimes having children younger or whatever, there might be a reason that pushes us to.
Yeah, I didn't have the reason. I mean, I love my mom and everything, but I just.
Yeah, maybe it just wasn't.
I had the mindset. I have nothing to lose, so why try hard anyway? In the beginning,
And then since your generation like values, I would say, that individuality and that just like carefree whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just plays into the whole, I guess, laziness aspect.
Yeah.
Just kind of flows that way.
Yeah.
I think we all have our days once in a while. We're like, oh, I don't want to do this. Or I don't
well, I mean,
want to do
that's one thing, but I'm talking about just straight up, just laziness.
Yeah.
I've worked in like factories and stuff, and the people our age will come in and they want the raises, they want to get put on immediately,
just dragging.
And it's like you guys are just not doing anything. You don't.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Or straight up from the interview asking
Oh yeah,
for,
like
Mhm.
yes.
how much break time am I going to have? And
Yeah. No.
How many days do I
How
get
many
off?
vacation?
Yeah,
how
yeah,
many
yeah.
hours
do I have?
What's my
Trust
vacation?
me.
Mhm.
Like that was a big no before when I was like, you never ask those questions on an interview. I think it's still a no, but
Yeah.
well, actually, you touched on one of this part of these two, but I'm gonna kind of read these both together. One is diverse views, so they are often considered more politically liberal, but often identify as independent. And the next thing, and you touched on this in what you just said, is this part says resilient. They have adapted to major technology and economic shifts, often relying on career waves, job hopping, rather than traditional career ladders.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, you just said
I
it's
didn't
funny
know
you
about- I
said
didn't
that,
know
and I was
about-
like,
yeah.
oh, it's right here.
I'm learning something about myself right now. That's pretty cool.
Well, because
Yeah.
you know, back in the day, like, well, our generation actually doesn't do this either, but like baby boomers were big on this, like staying with the same company for like 50 years, right? Like you
Yeah.
graduate from college at 22, 23, and then you just whatever job you get at that age, you just stay there because the loyalty, right?
Mhm.
And then I think our generation, some people in our generation do it, but I think we started to kind of break that code. You know, like no, like my family is priority. I'm loyal
Yeah.
to them, right? And so, I don't know about like job hopping like every year, but I think you definitely like if you know you're at a job for 5 years and then you saw an opportunity, then you would move on,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But that was so. Do you agree about the? Because we actually, you know what, we're gonna touch on this for like 2 minutes because we want to leave the next last 5 minutes for kind of like wrap it up a little bit. So,
Okay.
diverse views. So do you agree that millennials are a little bit more politically liberal and more identify as independent?
For me, politics came later on, and I lean way towards independent because I don't know. Like I get it and everything, but when I see both sides go against each other, I don't get that part completely. It almost like nowadays people really are at each other's necks about certain beliefs and everything. And
Right,
that,
yeah.
To me, that doesn't really make sense. Like, why do we need that division? So I've always been like that. I never got politics. My dad is super. He's super. What is it? I don't even know about politics. Liberal is the blue, right?
Yeah.
The blue side. Yeah,
Mhm.
my dad and my sister are very liberal, extremely. You know, and once I kind of see their side more and you know the internet and how they just debate each other, then I started to get it a little more. But I lean independently because you know both sides say some things, and I'm like, okay, I get how you feel. Oh, okay, I get how you feel. Oh, okay, so I can't really, you know, politics have never been a thing that clicked to me like that at all. It never. You know, I'll watch it. You know, whoever's our president at the time, I'll watch what they say. I'll listen to it, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, having my opinions against what they say because they're the one in the show right now. They're the one running the show, so that's just how our country has to go. In the meantime, like having what's it called, like riots or not riots, protests and stuff like that. I never really got that. You know, I never really understood why people make that such a big part of their life. You know, I respect it. You know, I really do, but I never got it.
I never understood it either.
Never. Yeah.
And of course, I'm not from your generation, but I never understood it either. And I will say it's interesting. Just get on YouTube and watch some of the protests and the kind of what's behind it.
Yeah.
It's actually influenced by money. And
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
people coming and like passing out the you know, the signs and everything. Like
Yeah.
the people didn't even come to the rally with their own sign. People are showing up with like a van full of signs. Here, hold these. So, and it comes from a company that's like $1 million company that's coming out there that's causing the division and the protest and the fighting to begin with. So, listening to all those YouTube videos, it like occurred to me, oh wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But I never was really on the politic
Yeah, it's a very sensitive
bandwagon
topic.
either. I'd like rather,
Yeah.
like I was always telling Sonia, like I'd just like love to just take off and
Yeah.
get on my bike.
The amount of anger and that's involved with it doesn't make sense to me at all. You know, people get very, very pushed to
Passionate.
say, yeah, very
Mhm.
passionate about it.
And then if you don't have anything to say, you're also in trouble.
Yeah,
Because that means you're
exactly.
not weighing in.
Yeah, I've been in that position before. I'm like, what do you want me to say? I don't know.
So I think
I don't wanna say the wrong
independent.
thing.
I think independent is a nice, safe place to be.
Yeah.
But what did you want to move on to, Sonia? Before, because we've got 4 minutes left, and we
Yeah,
really
so I
want
really want to like ask each of you if you can like talk to our audience and for them to understand millennials a little bit better, or how we can connect, because this show is called A Common Thread.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we connect your generation to other generations and help us understand you a little bit? If you can do it like in the next 3 minutes.
To put us all together.
I mean, things are constantly changing.
Yeah, I think so. Something that we actually deal with at our church is meshing our mindsets with the older generations and trying to bridge that gap when it comes to music, for example. And I think with anything when you're dealing with people, it's just trying to find that common ground. So that's if you're working at a job site and you have millennials working with you and you're an older person, or you're a millennial working with older people, trying to find whatever that middle ground is on, well, hey, Mr. So-and-so, like, you're really good at this, but I'm faster at that. Maybe we can work together to make this, move quickly.
Let's collaborate.
Or if you're older and you see that this person, like, for example, I'll take on one or two millennials, to, like, people my age that can come work with me that I'll hire, but it's only one at a time, not a whole bunch, because I know that if I get a whole bunch together, there's gonna be sitting around vaping and all that. So what I'll do is, I mean, that's the truth. I've had to fire a whole crew because of that. And so instead, getting one or two people that are older, and then maybe one like Titus chapter 2, teaching the younger ones how they should go, and just
edify each other,
to edify
build each other up.
Exactly.
I love that.
So basically, that's what I think. I don't know. I think that'll work.
Well, Paul did that
With Timothy.
Right? Just to educate him. I don't know how old he was, but he was very young. I don't know if he was like late teens, early 20s, but he was very young. And so, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'd say in the generation I was born in, there needs to be a balance between every generation, the newer, older, and middle, whatever you call it, because there's a lot of things from my mom's generation I don't understand, but I don't have anything against it. I don't think like, oh, that's not the way I'm used to it. But some generations will see what we do now and not accept it at all because it's not what they're used to.
Right.
And I think people need to accept that times are constantly changing.
Okay.
I even see a lot of things happening in Gen Z or Gen Alpha or whatever comes after Gen Z. And I'm like, what is that? I'm more interested to know how they know that rather than being against it. So I think that more people need to find the balance, like you said, like, find that gap, bridge that gap. Because if we're always stuck in our ways, in a way, like stuck in this is the only way to do it, we're never going to get anywhere, because whatever happened in the 50s or 60s, it's not going to happen in the 2020s at all. It's completely different. The world changes all the time. So that's just one thing I would say, like, find that balance, and communicate. I always talk to him like people at our church, we always need to communicate. If there's something that we're doing that you might not understand or accept or whatever, talk, talk to each other, communicate, and then find that balance within that, because I don't mind somebody coming up to me, hey, the way you're doing that, I don't really like it. Then I'm like, hey, what can I do to make it better? It's not going to be like, oh, your ways are not like mine and this and that. It just causes too much turmoil, almost like politics does. But, it just causes too much like headbutting. I think finding that balance is what every generation needs to do with each other and teach each other, explain what it means to do things this way, or, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
basically listening to understand.
Not
to respond.
Exactly.
Trying to not be so judgmental.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a good question to always ask is, oh, isn't that interesting? And you can keep that in your head. And then later you can think about, okay, when were they born? What generation are they from?
Exactly.
And then you can kind of understand. So just in your head, you're saying, isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We're coming to the end, and we're just happy that we got to learn a little bit about millennials today. And well, thank you for joining us. And like we always end our podcast, don't give up. Hold on to Jesus.
Keep looking up.
Amen.
We'll see you next time.
Nice.
There was something that I wanted to add. Now I can't remember. Did you mute?